Once upon a time in the icy Arctic, there lived a determined polar bear named Penny. Now Penny was no ordinary polar bear. She was small for a polar bear, but what she lacked in size, she made up for with her big heart and even bigger dreams. You see, Penny had a big dream. She wanted to be the first polar bear to climb over that big mountain of snow at the edge of her Arctic home. Now, other polar bears had tried and failed, so it was quite a challenge, but Penny was not afraid. She was determined to make her dream come true. So one day, Penny started her journey to the top of the snowy mountain. She climbed and climbed, but the mountain was very tall and she was very small. And after a while, she got tired and she started to slide down the mountain. Just then, a little bird that was watching her from above chirped, "Hey, little polar bear, why don't you take a rest? You're not strong enough to climb this mountain." Penny looked up at the bird and said, "Thank you for your advice, but I have to keep going. I want to be the first polar bear to reach the top of this mountain." The bird shook its head and flew away, laughing, and Penny was left alone with her big dream and her aching muscles. But then she remembered something her mother had told her. If you want something big, you have to be brave and never give up. So Penny took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and started to climb again. This time, she climbed faster and higher than before, and soon she reached the top of the mountain. As she looked around, she realized that she had never seen anything like this before. From this height, the whole Arctic seemed to be at her paws. She could see the icy ocean, the snowy mountains, and the tiny houses of the Arctic animals. Just then, a wise old owl hooted. Well, look at this, a little polar bear at the top of the mountain. You're very small, aren't you? How did you manage to get here?" Penny smiled and said, "I just kept trying and trying until I made it." The owl nodded. "That's the spirit. Never give up on your dreams, no matter how small you are." From that day on, Penny became a hero of the Arctic. All the animals admired her courage and determination, and she lived happily ever after, proving that even the smallest polar bear can achieve their biggest dreams. The end. Once upon a time in the heart of the jungle lived a speedy cheetah named Chase. Chase was the fastest cheetah in the jungle, but he was also very arrogant. He would often boast about his speed and challenge other animals to races, just so he could show off his skills. One day, Chase was practicing his speed when he saw a polar bear cub named Penny struggling to climb a snow-covered hill. "Hey, little polar bear," Chase called out, "why don't you take a break? You're not strong enough to climb this hill." Penny looked up at Chase and said, "Thank you for your advice, but I have to keep going. I want to be the first polar bear to reach the top of this hill." Chase shook his head and started to laugh. "You're too small and too slow. It's impossible for you to reach the top." But Penny was not discouraged. She remembered what her mother had told her. If you want something big, you have to be brave and never give up. So Penny took a deep breath and started to climb again. This time, Chase started to feel a little bit worried. He had never seen a polar bear try so hard to do something, and as Penny slowly started to climb higher and higher, Chase found himself rooting for her. He wanted her to succeed. Suddenly, Penny slipped and started to slide down the hill. Chase was so worried that he forgot all about being cool and collected. He rushed over to help her, and together they managed to stop her from sliding all the way down. "Thank you," Penny said to Chase, "but I still want to reach the top." Chase looked at Penny and realized that she was right. He had been wrong to doubt her. "You're right, little polar bear," Chase said. "I'm sorry for not believing in you." Together, Chase and Penny started to climb again, and this time, Chase used his speed and strength to help Penny reach the top. As they reached the summit, Chase and Penny looked at each other and smiled. They had become friends, and they had learned that even though they were different, they could achieve something big together. The end.